Would you like to mention or say why we change places?
Yeah.
One.
I'm Dia.
And Nikhil.
And this is More Than Fashion.
Okay, in today's conversation, we will touch on a few important topics. So we will start with the backstory, how all of this began.
Mm-hmm.
Then we will move on to the fabric itself, Khadi.
Mm-hmm.
And then we can also talk about a bit on artisanal streetwear, the concept, and end with the supply chain, the effort behind setting it up.
Yeah, right.
So would you like to start off by telling us the backstory?
Yeah, definitely. So this project began during my maternity phase, when the life was slow and I got some time to reflect on what we would like to surround ourselves with. And while we were researching for some unique fabrics, yet healthy and good for kid-sensitive skin, we came across this wonderful fabric from India called Khadi. And we were really impressed by the exceptional thermal and sensorial comfort it provided. And then I remember that we bought ourselves some Khadi fabric, and then we made some outfits, and the moment we felt it, we really loved how it felt on the skin, and it was so breathable and so nice it felt. So that's, and I would say honestly, more is not planned. It was not planned actually. So it just happened over a conversation, and it grew and evolved organically over these years. And it was growing alongside our daughter for past few years, right?
Yeah.
And that's basically what it is.
I think you said it right. So once we found out the qualities of this fabric of Khadi, we wanted to bring it to Europe and share the values with other people as well.
Right.
And I think that is how the whole project began.
Yeah.
Yeah. So please explain to us, what is Khadi?
So Khadi is 100% handmade fabric. So to put it down simply, we can say Khadi is a fabric that's made without using any electricity. So the whole process, like right from making yarns from cotton to weaving it on the looms, it's completely hand done. So it's a 100% handmade fabric, and people usually confuse it with handloom, because in handloom, of course, it's woven on looms with hand, but then the yarns or threads which we use is machine made. So I think Khadi is the only fabric that's 100% handmade.
Yeah, to highlight it, it's hand spun and hand woven fabric.
Yeah, right.
So now let us go on to the properties of Khadi. So being handmade, I think it has some inherent properties or qualities. So one, as you said, is the thermal comfort, and then there is a sensorial comfort. So because it's handmade, it's quite soft. That is why it's really good on the skin and also breathable. And going into the thermal comfort, I was reading about it. What is the reason that people say Khadi has a higher thermal comfort or thermal adaptability? I found out that because this is handmade, there are imperfections on the fabric. So the imperfections lead to airlocks that act as an insulation when it's cold outside. So it keeps your body warm. And the same imperfections make the fabric breathable. So when it's warm outside, the breathable fabric keeps your skin cool. Yeah, right. So it has a thermal adaptability as well.
Yeah. So that's why sometimes it's mentioned also as air conditioned fabric, right?
Yeah, that's right. So Khadi formed from the term khadar. Yeah.
Yeah, right. So also when we discussed about bringing a brand in Khadi, we also were very particular that we wanted to combine Khadi, organic cotton and natural dyes together, right? So can you just talk a bit more about it?
Yeah, so when we wanted to develop, or when we decided to develop a brand on the fabric of Khadi, we were thinking which design direction we want to do and what concept. And then we developed the concept of artisanal streetwear,
right,
that is combining the traditional fabric of Khadi and other artisanal elements like hand block printing across India into streetwear design.
Yeah.
And if you ask me why artisanal streetwear or why streetwear, the reason is we wanted to break adoption barriers. So I'll explain a bit. So when we looked at the sustainable fabric, sustainable fashion, handmade fashion, etc., we found out that most of these brands were focused on two regions. So either they were in the ethnic side, or on the other side it was bohemian or hippie. And for us, we felt that this was creating an adoption barrier because it was focusing on a really small segment,
A niche market.
a niche market, and that is why we wanted to bring the artisan-made fabric into streetwear, which is more adopted, and this will help to improve the uptake of this Khadi sustainable fabric.
Right. And also to me, when we tell about combining all these together, so let me put it this way. So if we say about Khadi, so Khadi is not like an industrial cotton. So right from the cotton to making yarns to weaving it, it's made with hand with lot of patience and care. So so every weave is different. So it's like one of a kind, like fingerprints. It's not two fabrics match each other, right? And when we come to organic cotton, so it's free of chemicals, it's free of pesticides, it's very kind on people and the environment, and for natural dyes also, it's from the nature, so it's very it doesn't contain any chemicals. So of course it might change its hues over time, but I think that's the beauty of it. And then also the artisanal elements that you were mentioning about, so combining all these together, to me it's not just a garment or an outfit, it's more than that, right? It's a quiet rebellion against the fast fashion, and it's also it has a story, and it's also a tribute to the artisanal, like the craftsmanship, the land, and the heritage. So that's beautiful, I think.
Yeah, I think it also summarizes the streetwear concept, because streetwear is about culture, identity, and a small rebellion.
Yeah. Right. Okay.
And would you also like to mention about the artisans working behind the Khadi?
Yeah, sure. So I think when we speak about Khadi, it's not complete without mentioning about the people behind it, because as I told, this is not an industrial or commercially something that can be replicated in a big commercial space or something. So this needs a skilled people to do it, those who has been doing this for generations, and it's done with utmost care, patience, and love. And I think that's the best part of it. And I think when we also mention about Khadi, organic cotton, natural dye, and also this artisanal elements, I think there are imperfections, of course, because we make it with hand, but I think these are not flaws. So these are like the values that the outfits or the brand brings in, and I think that's what makes it perfect.
Okay, yeah, so very interesting and well put. So now moving on to the last topic about supply chain. So once we formed this idea of bringing a brand based on Khadi fabric to Europe, then the next step was how we make it happen, or the execution. And the first thing was finding the supply chain. So when we looked in different parts of India, there were a lot of suppliers supplying Khadi, but two things were really of high priority for us. The first one was combining Khadi with organic cotton and natural dye. So it was really difficult, because when we looked at different suppliers, they were either providing Khadi, then there were some suppliers working with organic cotton, and then on other regions they were using natural dye. But the combination of the three was not really easy. And we worked through it, and we are happy to say that we found the right suppliers who helped us combine the values of the Khadi fabric, the organic cotton, and natural dye.
Yeah, I would say more than right, the word should be genuine and reliable. So they basically they are also people who really work on it genuinely with their whole heart. So I think that's the best part of it. So even if it took some time, and it was, I would say till now, it was one of the most challenging phase which we had. But we took time, and patiently we made it, I think.
Yeah, and the second priority was to work with institutions that took care of the artisans. So we took care that we collaborate only with institutions who are certified by the Indian government, that ensures that the artisans are paid fair wages and they have good working conditions.
Yeah, right. So just because we were mentioning about it, I wanted to also say this, that the imperfections, the uneven hues or uneven color tones that comes out of the natural dye, or the uneven texture that comes out of the handmade clothes, it's those imperfections, like I'm telling it again, that it's not flaws, it's the character. That's what makes that fabric different and unique. And I would say that in this world of synthetics and plastics and perfectly done outfits, the beauty of these handmade but beautifully imperfect stuffs, or carrying it or wearing it, is the most stylish thing you can do.
Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. In the end, would you like to mention or say why we change places?
Yeah, we thought we'll take what do we say for that? We take turns. Yeah, we take turns.
Why?
I don't know.
Okay, so thank you all.